you know I love to fish, and one of the hottest things going in fishing, and they intrigue me, they fascinate me, I love them, is the glide bait. That's the big deal. It's a buzz, the glide bait. And I got some the other day in the mail, MM26, and it says faith, family, and fishing. And I was blown away at these baits, and I put them in the swimming pool, and they looked awesome. So I had to call the guy that sent them to me, Chad Chandler. I had never met Chad. He's a great friend of Randy Howe, been a lure designer all his life. Found out he was an Army Ranger, came back and was called to preach. So, but I was bragging about his baits. And he told me, as we had a deep conversation about traveling and fishing, he said, you know, I live in the South, as you do. I pastor a church not far from Lake Chickamauga, and I believe he said they were like 26 Baptist churches within 10 miles of where he's at. That may not be exactly right, but it was a bunch. And he said, I don't know all of them, but I know enough that I know they preach the gospel. They do not apologize for God's word, and there are hundreds and hundreds of people that come to these churches. And we only have a population of a certain number, and so everybody has got a place to go if they want to hear the gospel. And he said, I travel up north, and there's not many churches. And there's very, very few churches that preach the gospel. And he said, I just feel burdened. And he said, I'm raising money, I'm selling these lures, and they're awesome lures. Check them out, MM26. And he said, I'm raising funds, and I just feel real burdened to make a trip, a road trip, to some of these northern states where they don't have a Bible preaching church. And he said, around here, everybody's walking around, they got mud on their eyes. Well, that intrigued me. So I said, Chad, explain that to me. He said, well, if you look over here in the book of John in chapter 9, Jesus and his disciples are passing through, and there's a man that's blind. And of course, his disciples inquired by Jesus, whose fault was the man being blind? Did he sin or his parents? And he said, neither. It's that the Son of God may be glorified. And so Jesus went to the blind man, spit on the ground, made clay, and anointed the man's eyes with the clay. And then he told him, he said, go in the pool of Siloam, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And that means sent. He sent him away to go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And he did, and he received his sight. And Chad, I asked what all that meant, and he said, think about if he wouldn't have went. What if he would have met Jesus, Jesus would have anointed his eyes with the clay, but he didn't do what Jesus told him to do. He didn't go wash. All he would have done was wander around blind with mud on his eyes. And I thought, that is so powerful. And he said, Hank, that's what I feel like where I'm at. All these people have heard what Jesus has to say. They know what to do, but they're not doing it. They're just walking around with mud on their eyes because they've never submitted and followed Jesus' instructions on what to do. So to me, that was a super eye-opening statement that makes me think, how many people do I know that's heard the gospel of Jesus Christ? But Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock. He doesn't knock the door down. He patiently waits for you to come to him. So you know what to do, but there's so many people that are so prideful, they just walk around with mud on their eyes. They've never listened. They've never followed the instructions. So please don't be one of those people. And if you've heard the gospel and you know what to do, go wash in the pool of Siloam, because you will have your eyes opened. It's an awesome place to be. So I hope that this is a blessing to you. Man, that was almost shouting ground for me when Chad shared that with me, and we had a little stumble there, but that's okay. It's all good. God bless you, and I I appreciate you allowing me to do these devotions and for you watching. It's no use for me to do any of them if you don't watch. So watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we appreciate you. God bless you. I hope you're in church tomorrow.